I'm not sure what this is going to be like because I'm here in Sorrento, having a great time. Weather's been fantastic. Today it's given rain and thunder in a short while, so I decided to try and make a vlog, seeing as my YouTube earnings are going down while I'm away. And behind me, over my shoulder there, I'm not sure you'll be able to see it through the mist, but that's Vesuvius. And Vesuvius reminds me of the scene in A Few Good Men where Jack Nicholson says,
I eat breakfast 300 yards from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me, so don't think for 1 second that you can come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous.
And Vesuvius there, you probably all know what happened with Vesuvius and that it's overdue to erupt. Anyway, here I am, just eating breakfast, a few hundred yards away from something that could possibly kill me. I'm trying to film a vlog today. I went down to reception. There's a special room. There's a guy plastering it. I went to another place to set my camera up, and then they put the music on, which of course will copyright my video. So I had to move. Anyway, I'm on the rooftop. It's a bit breezy on the rooftop, so I'm not sure what the sound's going to be like. Hopefully it won't be too bad. And since I've come away, the stories, the EV stories, you know, they just get worse and worse. And I just wonder whether everything is a lie about EVs. I mean, I don't understand them. You know, I've got this volt test unit, and the more tests I see that volt tests are doing, the less I understand them. Also, the battery on my phone. My phone's not 2 years old. I normally get a new one every year, so I've never noticed this before. And the reason I didn't get a new one last year was because I read Cobalt Red about the mining process of lithium batteries, of cobalt and so on, and the slave labour, the death, the disease and so on that goes into it. So I decided not to get a new phone. That's my protest into cobalt mining. My phone here, I get up in the morning, it's 100%. The actual battery state of health itself shows 89%. But when I have breakfast, I check my emails and so on, the whole phone's battery state of health is 89%. So you've got 89% of 100% to start off with. So you charge your phone to 100%, which is only 89%. And then when you start using it, your phone of course drops from what is 100% of 89%, you're at 80%. So what's that? And it's in no time, and I'm having to carry a spare charger, a lithium, you know, like a power pack. And I look on the internet now, power packs, they're catching on fire all over the place, on planes and so on. I have an explosive bag, which I carry anything that's got lithium in on the plane, anything that's got lithium batteries in, is in an explosive bag, fireproof. Not everybody does that, of course, because, well, to be honest, you look at some of the people on the plane and you wonder how they've made it to the airport, let alone what they've got in the case or whether they've read the instructions about not putting lithium batteries in their suitcases. And again, I keep seeing these, or somebody the other day, what was it, KE15 MPY, he's a real gobshite, real, you know, just on my case all the time, which I don't mind because it proves he's reading the title. It don't prove he's watching the video, because I don't think he watches the video. I just think he spouts off at whatever he wants to. And these people saying, oh, petrol cars, diesel cars catch fire more than batteries, and perhaps they do. There's a lot more, and there's a lot of older vehicles. I'm in Sorrento now, and honestly, there are more 60-year-old Fiat 500s knocking around here than there are electric vehicles. You know, I mean, those vehicles have cost nothing to run. Whole life costs nothing, nothing. And they'll still be here in another 50 years when all these EVs will be in the scrapyards. And that's subject to the manufacturers taking responsibility and recycling the batteries, which of course they have to do. A lot of people are saying on my feed, a lot of people that, you know, people think I take sides. I am not taking sides about electric vehicles and petrol and diesel. I'm taking the motor trade side, and the motor trade is getting a very raw deal. You get people like the Climate Intelligence Unit just spouting rubbish, absolute rubbish. And, you know, I couldn't do it. No matter what you think of me, I couldn't sit here and say something to you lot that I don't believe is true and that I know not to be true. And they must know what they're saying is not true. They are not hitting the ZEV mandate. They are nowhere near hitting the ZEV mandate. And even though it's been watered down and it has flexibilities, they're still not, because they're having to throw money at it. And if you throw money at a problem, then it devalues the product. Why should it devalue the product? Round here in Sorrento, I'll try and get some footage, but all the hotels now have like basically golf carts, and they run people to and from the train station in these electric golf carts. It's ideal, absolutely ideal. I see Citroen Amis around here at the airport. At the airport they were using Fiat Topolinos, which is a Citroen Ami, the Fiat version, and you know, they're shooting up and down there on the runways, you know, the terminals, and they're shooting in between planes, and they're ideal for that. My Citroen Ami, I've said it a million times, it's ideal for me. It costs me hardly anything to run, gets me into town. Probably saves me a fortune if I was, say, going on the bus. It saves me a fortune when I'm parking. It's just ideal for me. But here, the heat seems to be destroying the battery on my mobile phone, which takes me back, rambling a bit, because there's no script today. As I say, I don't know what it's going to come out like this at all. Not that I ever have a script, but the lads at Volt Test, two different tests on two Teslas. One had done a lot more miles and was actually in better condition than one that had done less miles, and they were about the same age and so on. So the problem is, you know, virtually cars, can't I say cars not EVs, ICE cars, you can kind of tell the condition of the engine. Worst came to the worst, you could do a compression test, I suppose, and so on. How often it's been redlined, or not that you can redline things these days, of course. But you know, to break things down, we're at a stage now where it's really, we can actually pinpoint problems, except with EVs, because I did two tests on two identical cars the other week, identical ages. One had been fast charged more than the other, and sorry, these two were vans. And even though one had done 60,000 miles more than the other, it was only about 3% difference in battery state of health. And then I go on British car auctions, as you know, and I look on there and I despair, because there's some cars, you know, 12 months old with battery warnings. These others, battery state of health less than warranty. And then I also wonder, because there's some that have actually got more than 100%. Now, ask yourself a question. If your car starts off with over 100%, it's not really over 100%, is it? A cup can hold 100%. You try and put 100% more in and it just spills out. But yet with batteries, they are reading above, 103%. Is it a safety margin, or is it to make sure that it doesn't drop below 70% during the warranty period? Is it managed so it doesn't drop below the warranty period? And they have to put a new battery in your vehicle. I wonder, all my time in the motor trade, I wonder, and usually you'll laugh at this, but there's a lot of people who are ageist on here. That didn't used to be the case in my younger days. We were taught to respect our elders. Now it seems people don't respect their elders, and you get bits of kids in dealerships talking to older people like they're a piece of shit. Think you know better. Trust me, you don't. You don't know better. You really don't. The only thing about being 60 is, what does it mean? It means you're better than two 30-year-olds. You're more experienced. There's no substitute for experience. But these young people, they come up with these ideas and they, beat the system. Rather than doing the job properly, beat the system. Rather than doing the job the way it should be done, oh no, I'll do this, I'll do that. Shortcut. And it never works. Dieselgate. Somebody's bright idea. Again, I don't think, to be honest, if you set a test and somebody passes it, they've either passed the test or they've outsmarted you. What was the worst thing that happened? People got cheaper road tax. The manufacturers didn't do you any harm, really. You got cheaper road tax. You should be thanking Volkswagen. So, battery state of health tests. You can't say batteries lasting longer than ever. The battery lasts longer than the car. Well, no, it doesn't. The car lasts as long as the battery, because once the battery's gone, you throw the car away, because you can't afford to put a new battery in the car. Because even though EVs are discounted massively, they're still not. Parts aren't discounted the same as new cars. You've got to pay full price for a car. So if you have to buy a battery, and it's 60%, 40 to 60% of the car, and a car's discounted by 40% new, basically you're just paying for the battery. The car's for nothing, you're paying for the battery. And therefore, if you need a new battery for that car, you may as well throw it away and just buy a new car. It's that simple. Also, the thing about the batteries isn't true, because with these battery state of health tests now, it's showing there are so many differences between the same age car, the same mileage car. It's just how it's been driven, whether it's been ragged. And it's so easy to rag these EVs. They just set off like the clappers. Hence there's so many slow speed, or what you would assume would be a slow speed, car crashes in car parks. EVs hanging out the side of, you'd be trying to manoeuvre an EV on here and you'd end up in the sea, the Bay of Naples. Touch accelerator and you're away. It's instant torque. And of course automatic, so you've no chance of feathering the clutch. It just takes off. Battery state of health. You cannot buy a car, an EV, without a battery state of health certificate, because two identical cars could be parked side by side and the difference in battery state of health can be phenomenal. Not just that, there could be a fault on one. You just don't know. So make sure, I know this is just a talk today, really. See if my setup works here. I'm sat here on the roof, totally chilled in Sorrento. My blood pressure, let me just show you. I didn't have my bracelet on there. That's that. Test my blood pressure. That's my blood pressure while I'm here. Okay. 18-year-old blood pressure. Place is fantastic. Chilled out. Everybody here is fantastic. It's a different world than back in the UK at the moment, I can tell you, because just there is, I've tried not to look at social media, to be honest. It's that awful. So this is it anyway. Can you see? You still can't see Vesuvius there. It's a sight to behold, and Sorrento, I can certainly tell you, is fantastic. Thanks for watching this ramble. See you in the next video. Bye bye.